Hello friends, welcome to LeggLife and welcome to basically what is the last video in our cruise series.
Yeah.
We've gone through our cruise vlogs, we've done our cruise reviews, and this is the last of the cruise reviews. We're talking about something that has been a pretty big part of our cruising experience with Disney.
Yes.
But has a lot of changes.
Yes.
Today, we are talking all about Paulo.
We recently cruised on the Disney Wonder, and Paulo is the additional charge, kind of higher end restaurant on board.
Yeah, you know, most of the food on Disney is included, except on the Wonder and the Magic, Paulo is the additional charge. On the Dream and the Fantasy, Paulo and Remy are the additional charges. We have done Palo Brunch and Paulo Dinner multiple times.
Yes.
And it has always been an absolute no-brainer for us. Every cruise we go on, we always book at least one of those, if not both of those.
Correct.
On the cruise we just did, we booked both brunch and the dinner. For a couple of reasons. One, we've always loved it.
We've always loved it, and it's kind of, like he said, it's always been like a must on at least one of them for every cruise we've done.
Absolutely. But the other reason we booked it is that there have been a lot of changes at Paulo.
Yes.
And we wanted to be able to come home and make a video just like this, letting you know what our thoughts are about Paulo. A lot of you guys have asked us about this already.
Right.
Like, what was it like? Was it worth it? Would you do it again? So we're just going to kind of walk you through the experience. I think we're going to start with what we started with, which was Paulo Dinner.
Yes. So we actually explained some of those changes in our vlog when we actually went to Paulo.
The biggest change for dinner is Paulo used to be one price for access to the whole menu, right? So you had the full menu, it was one price per person, you picked what you wanted, and
You could get 1 or 10 of everything on the menu if you wanted.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
So the way that it works now is there's still one price, there's a prefix menu, but it is a limited menu. So it's $45 a person, but you get access to a limited menu. If you want like the full menu, it is a la carte.
Right.
So for us, that's a big change.
Yeah.
Sherri Beth, what did you think about Paulo Dinner? First, let's start with the food. Was the food good?
The food was phenomenal, as always.
Any noticeable difference in the quality of food at Paulo Dinner? No, I agree.
Nope. For me, so we did like that fixed price, limited menu, and then we did get one thing a la carte.
And the thing we got a la carte, like our favorite part of Paulo Dinner, it's always been.
Yeah, and it
What was
used to
that?
just be included. It was the antipasti, like it used to be a cart.
Yeah, they would like wheel this cart around and it was full of meats and cheeses and olives and balsamics and it was like the greatest thing.
Yeah.
And it was included with the price of dinner.
Right.
This time it was $22 extra and there was no cart and we got a little
plate.
This to me with Paulo this is my biggest disappointment.
It was, for sure, for me too. The biggest disappointment. I felt like, and honestly, like we were just like, well, obviously we're getting the antipasti. It's $22, whatever.
Totally. Because if it was still that cart, I still think it's worth it for $22.
Which is sort of what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no.
It was a plate, and it was very small.
Yeah, it was not a good deal at all.
It was not a good deal. I almost wonder if half of that cost $11 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
But even then, it was a small plate.
So we would not do that again.
I wouldn't get it again, which is just sad because it was really one of our favorite parts about Paulo.
Completely. Dinner though, the appetizers we had were good, salads were good, the meals were good, the dessert, the souffle is as good as ever.
There was a change on that one. If you wanted the souffle, you got the chocolate souffle.
Yeah.
That was it.
They used to have
an amaretto or a chocolate, and
right.
I loved the amaretto.
Yeah, that's one you always got.
And it just wasn't even on the menu.
Now, here's what I will say. So that's kind of the biggest change, really, in the price and the selection and what you get. Paulo Dinner used to go into it knowing that it was going to be like $80 plus tip or whatever it was. Now it could be as expensive as you wanted to spend if you're already an a la carte.
Right.
So that was a big change. Would you do Paulo Dinner again?
This is hard for me because the food was still great. The experience was still great.
Yep.
The service on in Paulo is
it's the best.
Phenomenal.
Totally.
but I don't know if I would for the cost. Keeping in mind, like, you know, I've always just sort of thought like, well, you know, if we went to a really like that level restaurant, which we don't even have in Anchorage, but if we went to that kind of level restaurant, we would spend more than $100. So like for me, that was just like, well, obviously. But keeping in mind that you already paid for your meal.
Yeah, all the rest of it, like you already have a dinner that you're not eating to go to Paulo.
Right. So
yeah.
That above and beyond the meal you already paid for, which is also good.
Here's what I will say, because
I don't know.
It's important to me that we don't come across super negative on Paulo in this video. So I want to say a couple thoughts that I have, because I agree with Sherri. To me, Paulo Dinner was the kind of thing, every cruise, let's do it.
Right.
Now it's the kind of thing that's like, if we went 2 or 3 cruises and did new Paulo Dinner, I'm okay.
I think that if we did it for special occasions, if we were
birthdays, anniversaries,
for a birthday or for an anniversary or something like that, like as a celebration, then yes, do Paulo.
So that actually leads me to what I want to say, because that's a good segue, Sherri. We're getting good at this. Is that, keeping in mind, a lot of people who cruise with Disney are families, right? It's parents with kids. One of my things that I do love about Paulo is that even the main dining restrooms, the main dining restaurants where you eat, they are loud. There's a lot going on.
Your kids are with you.
It's a little bit chaotic everywhere, right? It is a rushed experience. You finish your appetizer, they bring you more food. They finish your salad, they bring you more food. It's like, it's a kind of a rushed, get it through experience. Paulo is
a breath.
It is a breath. It is quiet. The service is phenomenal. You take your time there.
Yeah.
And so I would say if you're cruising with Disney and you're a mom and a dad, or you're, you know, maybe you don't have kids and you're saying, you know what, it's important to us that on a Disney cruise, we have a night that is just breath and rest. A date and phenomenal food. Paulo is still 100% that.
Absolutely.
It is still 100% that.
Yes, and you know, going back to like the parents with kids, you can drop your kids off in the kids club and they'll be perfectly happy and you can go have a really nice, relaxed date.
So the dinner still to me felt very special. Again, the service is unbelievable in Paulo.
Right. Unparalleled.
Yeah, the whole experience was good. To me, it is just no longer because Paulo we never even had to have a conversation before our cruise. Like, hey, are we going to do this?
It was more like, what night are we doing Paulo?
Because clearly we're doing Paulo Dinner. Now it's the kind of thing where we will have the conversation like, do you want to do this cruise or not? So that was kind of the biggest change for us. So now, let's talk Palo Brunch.
Let's talk brunch.
So Palo Brunch, here's what has changed. The price went up, I think, $5 a person. I'm not 100% positive. I'm terrible about this stuff, guys. Google it. I don't know.
Right.
The biggest change for me was that brunch used to be a spectacle.
It was a spectacle and a buffet.
You would walk in and it would
and a full menu.
That's right, and it would just be food everywhere. An entire table filled with all of these desserts and meats and cheeses, and just like, it was this beautiful spread.
Yeah.
And now you sit at your table and it is off of a menu. Now
it's still one price for anything on the menu.
That's exactly right.
As much as you want on the menu.
That's exactly right. And they had a very good selection.
Right.
But it's the kind of thing that before, if you wanted 20 pieces of shrimp, right? Or like 5 pieces of crab, or, you know,
I'm feeling a little bit cold out right
10
now.
of the mussels, whatever you wanted, you could go to the buffet and get those kind of things.
Yes.
Whereas now you order like the seafood, like charcuterie tray basically, and they bring you like one of each. Like there's one shrimp and there's one crab. And so for me it's like, okay, like it's, yeah, it's not exactly as great as far as getting what you want, but I'm going to say, if I had to go back to Paulo, and we will, I now prefer, because before, remember, you and I were like, gosh, I don't know what I like more, brunch or dinner.
Right, and so honestly, the last several cruises, we've just done both. Because we couldn't choose. We want to do both.
For me, I have a clear winner now.
Yeah, I think I do too.
My clear winner is brunch.
Yes, I think I like the food and the atmosphere better in dinner. But
dinner feels more special.
Dinner feels more special, but just as I liked the selection and I think I would choose brunch.
So I'm going to disagree with something you said. You said you liked the food better at dinner. As I got thinking about what are the meals that I love the most at Paulo, it's that lasagna. It's the chicken parm,
which is at brunch.
It's you know what I mean? And so as I got thinking about the Paulo dinner food, I was like, oh, wait a second. There's actually nothing on that dinner menu that I'm just like...
Aside from the calamari.
The calamari is really good. The calamari is really good.
Yeah.
But to me, brunch is the clear winner.
That's true. That chicken parm is one of the best I've ever had in my life.
The lasagna is one of the best I've ever had.
Right.
And so I loved the brunch experience. I missed the spread because again, it was just honestly, it was beautiful.
It was just like I'm a cheese lover.
Yeah.
And just the cheese spread was ridiculous. Yeah. Like it was an entire counter of every different kind of cheese, an entire block or wheel of that Parmesan cheese, and they would just like cut you off pieces, and it was just like this is the best thing in life.
Yeah.
And that went away.
And so that's what I missed was kind of the display. Now, I'm hopeful, we don't know this, that the reason that's gone is because of COVID, right? No self-service stuff.
Right, no buffets.
No buffets. So I'm hopeful that that's maybe something that could come back at some point.
And there's not really a way for them to have done the buffet like they did in Cabanas and just sort of close things up.
And served
because
us.
It was... in Paulo, the buffet was really like the countertops and the like every available flat surface
was taken over by
food, and so it wasn't just like along like the railings of like the booths was like food, and it was so it was harder to just like enclose it and serve. Not really a thing. So I think they just had to do away with it.
So to me, the buffet or the brunch, I think is the clear winner.
I think I might agree with you.
That's a big deal because you guys know, if you've watched, we've never been able to decide.
I know.
Brunch or dinner.
Yeah.
Now it's brunch.
I think the uptick in cost for dinner is, to me, the biggest downside.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Just because of, I did enjoy that fixed menu, but there were a lot of things on that a la carte menu that we would get usually. Yeah. And I didn't want to pay that price for it on top of
what we had already paid for the cruise. That's right.
So
yeah, for me, I definitely, here's what I'll say. At dinner, I settled for what I would have normally wanted because I knew if I order a la carte, this is going to get real expensive real quick.
Yeah.
And like we already paid a lot of money to be here. And so I at dinner like pulled back on what I wanted to order.
Same.
Because of cost.
Same.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of stinks. And so, whereas I will say at brunch, I didn't do that at all.
Because you didn't have to. It was one price. You were paying one price whether you got a Mickey waffle or if you got everything on the menu.
That's exactly right. So, there you go. That is our Paulo brunch and dinner review.
Yeah.
Knowing that we had done it pre-COVID, know that we've done it just now. We both pretty much, and we talked a lot about this after dinner and brunch, we both really felt the same way. Quality of food, still spectacular. Mm-hmm. To me, the highlight of Paulo, I think, is the service and the experience.
Hands down. And so the service in the main dining rooms is always phenomenal as well. We've never had bad service with our servers, but in Paulo, it is just taken up a notch.
Oh, it's elevated.
Like, they are amazing.
Yeah, so again, just kind of recap, if you are a parent looking for a date night, if you are someone who is just looking for a quiet evening, a higher end dinner experience, a slower, more relaxed Paulo dinner, you're not going to regret it.
Right.
You are not going to regret it. And the other thing I will say is we have friends that were on this cruise who experienced Paulo dinner and brunch for the very first time. They've never gone. Mm-hmm. And so to them, they don't know the difference from before and after.
Right.
And they loved them.
Right. And here's, we loved it too.
Yeah.
We have just experienced it differently. And so this is, again, just our opinion.
Yep.
But we didn't have a bad experience.
Not at all.
Either one of them.
Nope, not at all.
And I don't regret going to either one of them.
The reality is we will do Paulo dinner again on a Disney cruise.
Right.
We will do Paulo brunch again on a Disney cruise.
You know what just occurred to me?
I don't know.
We have never done Paulo brunch just the two of us. We've always done it with friends. Which is maybe why we enjoy it so much. I mean, I do love the food at Paulo brunch as well, but we've always done it with friends.
Because you love not being alone with me. Just kidding.
It's always so much fun with friends.
Our brunches are full of laughter and fun and
Right.
just completely true.
Yeah.
That's completely true. So there you go, friends. That is our Paulo Brunch, Paulo Dinner review. If there are any questions down below as far as what we may have missed, let us know. We'd love to answer your questions. Yeah, I think that covered about it.
I think so.
All right, friends. We love you guys so very much. And remember, tomorrow, Monday, we are announcing Viewer Cruise number 2. So you're going to want to be here tomorrow morning for that announcement. I'm so excited.
Yes.
And you guys don't know this, but literally right here is all of the information. Like right down on the table in front of us is all of the information that you guys want to know about what it is. And I can't show it to you. You got to wait till tomorrow. Yeah. Friends, we love you guys. We'll see you on tomorrow's video.